What is going on? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I'm your host, Mark Hendrickson, and welcome to the show. If you're brand new to this podcast, if you're brand new to listening to this, what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and everything in between. If you are a returning listener, if you're a returning viewer, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're, like a returning listener because you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, thank you very much for coming back and supporting the show and supporting this journey as well. Whether you're brand new to this podcast or you are a returning listener, you are the reason that I do what I do. When I first started this podcast, I wanted to just have open and authentic conversations, like I said, about these types of topics, because I think that the more we speak about these things, the more we voice our opinions, the more we kind of talk about our thoughts, the less abnormal, the less weird, the less disconnected we all feel, because we all kind of feel the exact same way. Well, most of us probably do, but we just don't get to voice these things. We just don't get to talk about these things. And so I thought that I would provide this space for you if you think similarly, or if you disagree with me, then at least open up the conversation and we can have that conversation. So welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Happy fucking Monday. I hope your Monday's going pretty well so far. At the time of recording this, it is Friday night for me. I'm literally about to go to bed right after I record this, so bear with me. I'm a little bit tired. It is late for me, which is 8 o'clock at night. It's pretty much my bedtime, but I wanted to just squeak this in because I had something on my mind and I wanted to chat about it. And I thought, what better way to chat about something than to do it on my podcast. It's something that I've been journaling a lot about recently. It's something I've been reading a little bit about as well. And I've heard it talked about on another couple podcasts that I'm going to chat about with you as well today. So I think we should just jump right into it. And so what I wanted to talk about today is the fact, or the idea of, negative emotions. And this is something that I've discussed before on the podcast. So if you've heard all of this stuff before, which you probably haven't, then bear with me. But you haven't, so don't bear with me, I guess. I wanted to have this conversation because it's so common in the realm of self-development and mental health for people to kind of be speaking about or talking about the idea of listening to your body, listening to your emotions, listening to your brain, or I don't know, however fucking people say it, but listening to your body when you feel negative emotions and when you feel depressed and when you feel anxious, and giving your body what it's telling you that it needs. And I think that a lot of us, it's not something that I think, it's something that I know, deal with depression, deal with negative emotions, and maybe you're dealing with this right now. And if you are, then fuck, I'm with you, because I fucking have to overcome these things all the time as well. I've always had to kind of deal with this. It's something that I've dealt with my entire life. If you look at the statistics in America, I was reading the book Dopamine Nation, and it talks about how 1 in 4 American adults are on some kind of psychiatric drug. And maybe this is more concerning to you. Maybe it's a little bit less. Maybe it's astonishing for you. But 1 in 20 children is on a psychiatric drug. So that's children as young as 5 years old. And it begs the question. It begs the kind of the thought of why are so many people dealing with these depressed, thoughts, these negative emotions, these, to the point where they feel the need to go and talk to a doctor about this and start taking drugs and start taking prescription pills. Why does our society, why are we plagued with this, depression, this negative emotion? And I kind of have my own theory on that. Part of it is due to the kind of poisonous culture, this toxic culture, to use the words of the people that actually talk about this, the toxic idea, which I think their ideas are toxic, of being, listening to your body and just kind of, being lethargic, doing nothing about it, feeling your emotions, dwelling in your emotions, sitting in your emotions, and really, that kind of summarizes it perfectly, is just dwelling in these things and kind of feeling like if you have low energy, then to just chill out, rest, eat junk food, watch Netflix, scroll through your phone, and chill out and try again tomorrow and hope that you have better energy levels at that time, and feel better about yourself and feel like you have more motivation. If you look at, the lifestyles that people lead nowadays as well, like kind of looking at the lifestyles that we have. A lot of people are spending time inside. Most of their time is inside. Like I'd say like over 90% of most people's lives are inside, whether you work from home, which is a lot more common nowadays, or you work in an office. Maybe you just sit in a cubicle, you sit at a desk, you make phone calls, you answer emails. I don't know what fucking people do for work, because I work in construction, but most people spend a lot of their time inside looking at screens, only connecting with people through phone calls, and looking at their fucking picture or FaceTime or whatever on a screen. Like it's a lot less face-to-face conversations. And when it is face-to-face conversations, it's just small talk. It's just kind of, not very in-depth. We don't talk about the things that are actually on our minds. And when we do, we still have that front. Even on social media, most of the time when people are talking about these things, it's only to get attention. It's only to get affirmation for these things. We say, oh, I'm a victim because I'm dealing with this or that or whatever it could be, and we're just looking for the likes. We're looking for people to comment, "You're not alone," and then that's as far as it goes. Like it's very surface level stuff, and a lot of this comes down to escapism. Obviously a lot of escapism comes from substance abuse, but it also comes from, behavioral addictions as well, like Netflix, like social media, like exactly what I'm talking about already. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying is a lot of our lifestyles are not conducive to a healthy body and mind. A lot of the human natural tendencies are almost avoided in life, like, hard exercise every single day, monogamy, hard work. Like these things are kind of not frowned upon in society, but they're just avoided in general. Most people's lifestyle do not include these things. They don't include a hard exercise every single day. They don't include, the glorification of monogamy. A lot of the times when we look on social media, speaking from like a guy's perspective, people want to talk about all the money they make, all the girls they get, all the fucking, bars they go to, all the drinks they have. It's glorification of things that are not natural human tendencies. Like these things are pursued. Working from home, eating junk food, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, going out to the nightclubs. And I'm not against 100% like drugs and alcohol 100%. I'm just saying that these are the things that are glorified. These are the things that are pushed upon society, and these are not natural human tendencies, especially like when we talk about, with drugs and alcohol. I will say, obviously, that's been a natural human tendency for years and years and years, thousands upon thousands of years, but they were mostly used in spiritual practices and not just going and getting fucked up with your buddies at the bar. And so, the other side of it is like the whole body positivity thing and the whole fucking affirmation of fucking bullshit, where people say like, oh yeah, it's self-care to fucking drink a bottle of wine and eat a bunch of fast food and fucking watch Netflix and fucking get drunk off your fucking rocker. And these are unnatural human tendencies, and we say that these things are healthy. We say that these things are self-care. We say that these things are normal. These things, just because a lot of people do something doesn't mean it's normal, in my personal opinion. Maybe I have the definition of normal wrong, but what I am trying to say is it's not for us to actually do. You have the choice to do it if you fucking want to, but you can't expect to avoid all the things that humans naturally do, like hard exercise, like physical effort every single day. Human bodies were meant to walk great distances, to run, to climb over things, to jump, to lift things, to do extreme amounts of effort every single day. We were meant to, at least, like if you're thinking about like hunter gatherers, like maybe you're not fucking doing the extreme stuff, but at least walking around, gathering things, looking around, being social. Like, we're not meant to just be inside. We're not meant to just do, these unnatural fucking things. So it's no fucking wonder why people are not feeling good. And so if you're not feeling good, you might want to look at the way that your life is right now, the way that you're living right now, and see, maybe where you could make some adjustments. And that is exactly what negative feelings and negative emotions are meant to do. They're meant to be a signal for you, right? And so I was listening to this Joe Rogan podcast earlier, and if you guys haven't listened to this episode, it's with Adam Curry. Listen to this episode first, the one you're listening to right now, and then you can go and listen to that interview because it's a couple hours long. At one point of the conversation, when Adam and Joe are talking, Joe asks Adam if you could only have surges of dopamine and serotonin and not feel depressed or feel any negative emotions. I'm kind of misquoting here because I'm going off memory, but he basically asks him, like, if you could never feel depressed, if you could only feel dopamine and serotonin surges, would you want to do that? And Adam replies back at basically saying, like, that's essentially what somas are in Brave New World, the novel by Aldous Huxley. And if you haven't read that book, I'll give you a little bit of a summary of what he's talking about. In that society, there's this drug called somas. Not the actual drug that we have called somas, and if you don't know what that is, then disregard what I'm saying. But in this book, basically, there's this drug called somas, and everybody in this fucking society is taking this drug. It is a drug that just basically gives you a dopamine rush. It's a feel-good drug. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an opiate. I don't know if it's supposed to be an antidepressant, but it basically is just like this euphoric feeling. And everybody in this society takes it, and there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. It's like Big Pharma finally fucking perfected the feel-good drug, but that's essentially what everybody in this society is taking. And in the entire novel, anytime anybody feels bad, they just take this drug, and then they're not fucking feeling bad anymore. And so that's essentially what Joe Rogan's talking about. If you could never feel bad, if you could only feel good, if you could only feel surges of dopamine and serotonin, these feel-good chemicals that we have naturally in our brains, would you do it? And he says, no, of course I wouldn't do it. Like, they just, he basically says he wants to raw dog reality. He wants to feel every emotion. He wants to feel the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think it's kind of weird and paradoxical, because a lot of people might, it sounds pretty normal to me, and it probably does to you as well. But, I feel like a lot of us, if given that same question, it's like, why would I want to feel bad? Why would I want to feel negative emotions? Why would I want to feel any of these things? We think about in our society sometimes that, we shouldn't feel bad. And we think that we're weird. We feel like we're abnormal. We feel like we're freaks. We feel like we have some sort of fucking diagnosis that we should have, whether we get it through Instagram or from a fucking doctor, a label that we should attach to our negative feelings. Like, if you feel prolonged negative feelings, like for a couple weeks, a couple days, a couple months, whatever it could be, that there's something wrong with you. You think, oh, maybe I should go and talk to a doctor about this thing. But what I'm saying is that these negative emotions, these negative feelings that you get, these things are supposed to be signals for you. Your body has been programmed. It's been evolved over millions and millions of years to basically be operating within certain parameters of life. And if you don't operate within those parameters of life, then of course your body and your brain are going to send you signals to tell you that something is wrong. And so when you're feeling these negative emotions, when you're feeling these negative feelings, it's your body telling you that something's jacked up, something that is not fucking right in your life. And everybody's going to feel these things at different times of your life. There's obviously fucking times where tragedies happen. And, the greatest lesson that can give you is to be grateful for the things that you do have, and to spend the time with your loved ones that you can, and do it so gratefully, and do it so in a way that you're appreciating the people that you have around you, and not to take them for granted, because sometimes tragedies do just strike us, and there's no way that we can control these things. These negative feelings, these negative emotions are the opposite end of the spectrum of love, like it's to love something that much, to love something that you have in your life so deeply, when you lose those things, it fucking hurts, and that's completely normal. That's not the type of thing I'm talking about today. What I am talking about today is the feelings of self-worth, these feelings of a low self-esteem, these feelings of just feeling like something's fucked in your life. Because I've been there so many times as well. I've been there for months and years at a time, for portions of my life. And what I've noticed in my own life is that a lot of the times when I'm feeling these ways, there's something underlying that I need to deal with. It's my body and my brain telling me that something's fucked. It's like a conversation between me and other me. You can call it ego. You can call it your Godhead. You could call it I don't know, your fucking shadow side. I don't know what words you want to use for it, but what I'm saying is it's like a conversation, basically saying like, hey, I don't feel good. And then the other side of you is like, yeah, because this thing is being unattended to. And chances are you kind of know what that thing is, whether it's you're avoiding something because you're anxious about it. This is something that I talked about recently about anxiety creating more anxiety. If you haven't listened to that episode, you can go back and listen to it. I'm not going to cover all of that right now, but maybe it's something that you're avoiding because you're anxious about doing it. Maybe it's you work a job, like I was saying earlier, where you work a job where you sit at a desk all day and you fucking stare at a computer and you fucking hate your life because all 8 hours of that day, every single day, you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? And you have no outlet to make yourself feel okay about that. You don't have a fucking sports team to go to or a gym to go to. You're not exercising every single day. Whatever it could be. If you're feeling negative emotions, it's your body and your brain giving you a signal that you need to change something in your life. And maybe it's not 100% available for you right now to work a job that you find deep fucking passion for. Maybe it's not within your boundaries of your life to fucking change your career at this moment in time because you need to fucking pay bills. And obviously, paying bills feels a lot fucking better than not paying your fucking bills. But, if you feel like you can't provide for yourself, if you feel like you can't treat yourself properly, then that's obviously not going to make you feel good about yourself. So the question bears, how can I start to feel good about myself? Well, you can control the things that you can control. Are you eating properly? Are you sleeping properly? Are you exercising properly? Are you socializing yourself properly? Do you have some sort of a spiritual connection with who you believe your creator is? Or who you believe your creator isn't? Do you have some sort of a mindfulness routine where you can reflect back on your feelings and you can think about these things in your own privacy? Maybe talk to somebody that you love about these things, what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, etc. Do you have a relationship with yourself? Are you journaling? Are you fucking talking into your phone like I am right now? And you're going to listen back to it and hear your thoughts and think, maybe that part of my thought process is a little bit fucked up, or maybe this is actually 100% true and I should pursue this thing a little bit more. Do you have a way to kind of self-correct your own thought patterns? That's basically what I'm trying to say. All of these things are things that you can look into. And I think that a lot of the times we always need some sort of a purpose to pursue in life as well. And that's kind of what this podcast is for me. Like, not every single day, because I'm a carpenter, right? I work in construction, and obviously not every single fucking day I show up and I'm extremely passionate about what I do. but it gives me a paycheck and it allows me to afford the life that I like to live. And it allows me to kind of be able to provide for myself and my girlfriend and feel like, okay, if things get fucked, at least I'll be able to get a paycheck. I'll be able to fucking fix things in the house. It gives me a lot of different skills that make me valuable to the people around me as well. If, something goes wrong in my girlfriend's parents' place, I can help fix that. Or if something goes wrong, or even if my friends want to work on a project, I have the tools, I have the skills. So it gives me a way to provide for others. It gives me a way to provide for myself. It gives me a way to make money. And obviously that's great, but not every fucking day is a walk in the park. Some days I just show up and I have to do a bunch of mindless labor and I'm fucking sitting there thinking like 6 hours in, fuck, this is fucking brutal. My hands are bleeding. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking hungry. I want to go back to bed. I'm super sore. But it allows me to pursue my passion. It allows me to pursue what I believe my purpose is, which, I made a deal basically with myself or with my creator years ago when I was deep into my depression. And I basically said to myself, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit this life. I'm not going to fucking throw in the towel. I'm going to keep fucking pushing. But if I keep doing this thing called life, I'm going to try and help alleviate this feeling for other people. And I've, thankfully received messages from people that these types of conversations help them cope with some of the stuff that they're going through. And the more and more messages I get from that, the more I kind of start to feel, okay, I get my purpose now. I'm fulfilling a purpose in this world. And that gives me a feeling of worth. Like my time around here is worth something. And so maybe you don't have the same purpose as me. Maybe you don't have the same passion as me. Maybe you're more interested in something else. But and that's good because not everyone can just fucking sit and talk on a fucking podcast at night before they go to bed. I think that there's a lot of much more important things for people to be passionate about and to have a purpose for in this life. And that's what makes this world go round, is because people pursue their passions, because people pursue what they were meant to do on this earth. And that's the way that great things get built. But what I'm trying to say here is maybe your career isn't that for you, but maybe your career or your job provides a life where you're able to access your purpose. Maybe your career or your job or whatever you do to make money, to make a paycheck, isn't part of your purpose, but maybe it provides you an opportunity to pursue your purpose in your spare time. And when you are doing that, instead of fucking poisoning yourself with fast food, and you're doing that instead of just mindlessly scrolling through social media and watching Netflix and doing whatever the fuck you do, when you're pursuing things that give you a meaning, it gives you self-worth, it gives you purpose in your spare time, then of course that's going to add to your self-esteem. Of course that's going to make you feel better about the way that you live your life. Of course that's going to make you feel better in general. And so if you haven't figured out your purpose yet, if you haven't figured out your purpose, if you haven't figured out what makes you tick, what gives you a meaning to get up and grind and do fucking monotonous things that bore you and fucking make you feel like you're fucking trading your time for money, because essentially that's what having a job is. If you don't have something that makes that feel if you don't have something that makes that feel worthwhile, and you don't have like a purpose or a passion to chase and pursue, then the best thing that you can do if you're feeling negative emotions and negative feelings on a consistent basis is to start thinking about the ways that you can improve your self-esteem. Think about the things that you can control. Like I said, start reading instead of scrolling through Instagram. Start fucking get off the couch when you feel like you have no energy and go for a fucking run. Go for a walk. Do something that you can fucking do. Obviously, you know what pushing yourself means to you, but what I am saying is exert yourself physically. Challenge yourself every single day. Do something that makes your brain tell you, fuck, I really want to quit. I don't want to do this. I really feel like I can't do this. Your brain's going to think of every excuse in the book and allow your body to push past that feeling. Talk about self-worth. That's going to make you feel like a fucking rock star. And if you are able to push through those tough times, those tough feelings, those mental blocks, physically push through them on a consistent basis every single day, then you start to view these negative feelings, you start to view these negative emotions as a way to improve yourself. Every time you get one of those negative feelings, every time you get one of those negative emotions, you think, it's telling me to just chill out and sit on the couch. It's telling me to stay away from others and not be social right now, and seclude myself from society and close my door and lock myself away. It's telling me to drown out my thoughts and listen to music so loud that I can't hear my own negative opinions of myself. It's telling me to eat junk food. It's telling me to take a substance. It's telling me to get drunk. It's telling me to do this or that, whatever it is. You know that that's an opportunity to do the exact opposite. So when your brain's telling you, oh, I should stay on the couch, oh, I should just call it quits and try again tomorrow, get up and go for a walk. Do a little workout. Do fucking 5 push-ups. Do something that you can do. When it's telling you to stay away and seclude yourself and be antisocial, go for a walk, and when you're on your walk, say hi to the people that you walk by. Go to the grocery store and fucking just have a conversation with someone random there. If you're sitting on a bus right now, maybe pop your headphone off and say hi to the next person beside you and just say, hey, I just want to say, have a good day. I don't know. But do the exact opposite of what that negative emotion is telling you to do. You know, a lot of the times people say, like I was saying before, to listen to those signals. But I'm saying do the opposite. You know, do the things that make you uncomfortable. Do the things that your body tells you not to do. Because if you continue to do the things that you're doing while you're feeling these negative emotions, then what reason are you giving yourself to change? What reason are you giving your body and your brain to change the way that it thinks? If you repeat the behaviors, if you repeat the habits that you have, then why would the feelings change? It's not just going to, you know, everything is temporary, but you still have to control what you can control. Now, to circle back, I wanted to talk about why these feelings are good, why these negative emotions are a good thing. Because if we never had these feelings, if we never had these emotions, if we were able to just wake up and feel happy and feel fulfilled and feel like we're good enough every single fucking day, like we're told we're supposed to feel, like you're supposed to feel like you're good enough all the time. You know, if you were able to just wake up and feel like that every single day, you would never be able to improve your life. You would never be able to improve your circumstances. You'd have no reason to because you already feel good. So why would you improve, right? The fact that you feel these negative emotions, the fact that you feel these things is the beginning of a fucking change in your life. Think of yourself as fucking the beginning, like the first chapter or the first scene of a superhero movie when their life fucking sucks. And I've talked about this, I think it was like 2 fucking years ago on the podcast, so probably you haven't listened to this. But, you know, my favorite superhero growing up was Spider-Man. And that's because when I was a little kid, I related a lot to the story of Peter Parker. You know, when Peter Parker in the very beginning of the movie, he's a fucking dweeb. He's a fucking, like, whether you watch the original one or you watch the new ones, he's just like kind of this nerdy fucking little kid. He's either in college or he's in high school, and he doesn't have the fucking balls to talk to the girl he likes. His parents, unfortunately, are gone. He lives with his Aunt May. He goes through tons of different family problems. He works as a fucking pizza boy in the original one. You know, he fucking has all of these issues. He has all of these little fucking things about it. He's a quirky little weird dude. And, you know, if you're struggling with your self-worth, if you're struggling with your self-esteem, you could relate to a lot of things like that. So think of yourself as the beginning of a superhero movie when you're feeling these negative emotions, when you're feeling these negative things. Like, this is your underdog story. You're in chapter 1 right now. No matter where you are in life, you're in chapter 1 right now. And the fact that you're feeling these negative emotions and you're feeling these feelings that you're feeling, whatever you are feeling, whether it's depression or anxiety or a lack of purpose or a lack of self-worth or I'm not good enough or I'll never be good enough and I've never been good enough and I'm going to let this person down because I've always let this person down or I've always let everybody down. You know, you are in the very beginning of a fucking superhero movie and you're about to fucking get your superpowers. But every single time, you know, when a superhero in a movie is about to get their powers, they get fucked up first. You know, whether they get bit by a fucking radioactive spider or they get fucking injected with whatever fucking thing that Captain America was injected with, or, you know, any single movie, the hero goes through a fucking tumultuous time in the very beginning. And their life sucks. Their life fucking blows most of the time, other than Tony Stark. But, you know, their life sucks. And then they get fucking powers. And then a lot of the time their life sucks after that as well. But they get to be the fucking hero at the end of the movie. They get to be the fucking man. And that's literally what your negative emotions, your negative feelings are allowing you to do, is obviously not to get fucking superpowers, but to be able to transform your life. It's the purpose for you to want to improve your circumstances in the first place. And so I think that at this point I'm probably just fucking beating a dead horse. So I'll end it there. I just want you to know that if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling these feelings and these negative, emotions, these feelings of these waves of depression, these waves of anxiety, or whatever it could be, it's fucking normal, okay? Every fucking human that ever existed, your fucking parents dealt with this at some point in your life. Your grandparents fucking dealt with this. Every single one of your ancestors dealt with this. Every fucking human that's ever lived has dealt with this. Unless they're like a weird fucking sociopath that doesn't have any fucking emotions or whatever. But every fucking human has felt like this before. The greatest fucking humans, your role models, the people that you look up to, have had these same fucking feelings. And they listen to these emotions. They listen to these signals. And they allow themselves to be transformed by them. They allow themselves to take these feelings and say, fuck this, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And they start to improve their lives. So understand that it's 100% normal. There's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling this way. But the only one who can save you, and this is something that I talked about recently on the podcast as well, is you. You know, you are the cause and the solution to every single problem that you fucking have in your life. And again, if you haven't listened to that episode yet, go back and listen to that fucking episode. But it's 100% normal if you feel this way. It's a good fucking thing that you even have these emotions, because if you didn't have these emotions, you'd have no reason to improve your life ever, and you would stay exactly where you are right now at the exact same point in your life with the exact same fucking life that you have. And so if you didn't have this emotion going in your life, you wouldn't fucking ever be able to change. So it's 100% normal, and it's a fucking good thing that you're able to feel this. So I guess happy fucking Monday. I hope that fucking helps you start your week off well. That's all I got for today. Wearing the Risen Fallen merch right now, fucking for once. So if you guys want to cop some of that, we have the hoodies and we have the tees as well. Super fucking comfy, and they go for a good cause as well, because all the proceeds go towards the in-person meetups that we have with the mental health group. What's the mental health group, you might ask? Well, the Risen Fallen mental health group is a group of individuals that help to improve their own lives and lift other people up in the process as well. We have a Telegram group. We have daily conversations. We have Zoom calls once a week. We do in-person meetups, and that's where the proceeds go towards the in-person meetups. So when we go for coffees, when we go for a bite to eat, when we go skating, we're talking about going to Science World soon. Maybe we'll do something like rock climbing. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out what the group wants to do. So that's where the proceeds of the merch go towards. If you want to be involved in that kind of stuff as well, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll get you thrown into the group. I'll get you thrown into the conversation, whether you want to participate in the Zoom calls, just the Telegram group, or you want to come and build some community and some more connectiveness within your community. You want to just connect and have conversations with like-minded people, then this is the group for you. Do not hesitate to reach out. Honestly, it's a fucking wicked group. It's a good conversation every single time we talk. So get involved. It's a good fucking time. Get the merch as well if you want to support. If you're not from Vancouver, if you don't want to join the Telegram group, but you want to fucking support a movement like that, then you can go to risenfallen.com and get the merch. But that's all I got. Happy fucking Monday. Listen to your fucking emotions and then do the exact opposite of what they're fucking trying to trick you into doing to stay the exact same as you are right now. That's all I got. Go have a good fucking day. Start the fucking week off with a bang. Much love and peace out. I love you all, you beautiful fucking human beings. Bye.